I have a 2022 made in Japan Fender Stratocaster neck, and we are gonna do an amber tinted lacquer over this neck just to give it kind of a vintage vibe. Right now it is finished in a sort of satin urethane. The headstock looks more glossed out, so I'm going to rough that up. I don't want to mess with the serial number on the back. You know, I really don't want to mess that up, so we're gonna leave that as is and we'll just take our time with it. I am gonna use trans tint mixed in some clear lacquer. This is a dark vintage maple. They do have amber, however, it looks more yellow. I'm only gonna be using a couple drops because this is really potent stuff. We're gonna scuff up the headstock, and then I am gonna tape off the fretboard, and then we're gonna, get to mixing some clear coat and get to spraying. So stay tuned and we'll see how this guy turns out. As always, we are using Mohawk stringed instrument lacquer and Trans Tint's dark vintage maple. I added quite a few drops to start. I want to say about 75, 80 drops. As you can see, it's enough that there's color, but it's not too potent. The fretboard is all taped off, including the sides. Over the course of me spraying this, I did make the mix of lacquer more potent because I did want to keep the color coats to a minimum while still getting the color that I was going for. Just because when I remove the tape on the edge of the fretboard, there's going to be a ridge that I'm going to have to cover with clear coat. So I did want to try and keep the material to a minimum. And right about here, I want to say I did about 4 coats, just enough to get that color, and I think that color is what I was going for. This is after the color coats have dried, and we are going to now remove the tape. After this, I then taped up the top of the fretboard, leaving the sides. And then we're hitting that with just regular untinted clear coat. Again, going light and then building with heavier coats. I did probably about 4 or 5 coats. And now we're doing the final wet sand before polishing. I start with 1500 and work up to 2000. And I also use mineral spirits instead of water to avoid any wood swelling. All right, the guitar neck is now completed and is a beautiful shade of amber. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. It is really glossy. This is a win in my book. So if you're gonna tackle this yourself and you got any questions about it, feel free to comment down below and I will respond as soon as I can. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.